fasting. The prayer point for today is to confess our sins and ask God for forgiveness, to lay out all that may be a barrier to him hearing our prayers. Jesus came to seek and to save the lost, as it says in Luke 19:10. As one lost, it's a beautiful thing coming to the realization that you are a sinner, but through Jesus Christ you can be set free, healed, and no longer enslaved by your sin. In John chapter 9, Jesus talks about spiritual blindness. He had just healed a man who had been blind since birth. But the Pharisees, who claimed that they knew God, were skeptical, and they couldn't handle the facts that were literally staring them in the face. In verse 39, Jesus said, "For judgment have I come into this world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind." We are faced with two types of blindness, spiritual and physical. One that matters and one that ultimately doesn't matter but serves as a purpose. In this case, the healing of the one that doesn't matter led to the healing of the one that does matter. And the fact of the matter is that the healing of the one that does matter can lead to the healing of the one that doesn't matter through Jesus Christ, something that the Pharisees refused to see. Let's break it down. The blind man was both physically and spiritually blind. The Pharisees were spiritually blind. The blind man was healed physically, and this led to him being healed spiritually. And this was its purpose, as it says in verse 3, "And this happened so that the works of God may be displayed in him." But the Pharisees rejected this and remained in darkness. One thing that I mentioned before is that the Pharisees claimed that they knew God. But if they knew God, they would recognize the signs and the Son of God. Sure, the Pharisees prayed, but did God hear their prayers? No, their hearts were not in the right place. In the last verse of the chapter, Jesus said, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim that you see, your guilt remains." It's one thing to not know God. It's another thing to claim that you know God, but actually not. Which is in line with knowing God's statutes and knowing what's right, but being unrepentant. No matter what the case may be, the Lord requires of us to come before him and confess our sins and to ask for forgiveness. As it says in Psalms chapter 66, verse 18 to 20. "If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened." 19. "But God has surely listened and heard my prayer." 20. "Praise be to God, who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me." Know that this is not a message of condemnation, but salvation. John 3:17 says, "God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him." God bless you.